All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sarah Brady, and I work with the Corporation for National and Community Service. Many of you were on a call earlier this week with myself and Debbie Wise and with NeighborWorks America, and today is essentially a continuation of the call from Monday. However, we have different goals for today. Monday, our intent was to give you a good understanding of the basic information related to the VISTA program that would help you be successful. And today our goal is to walk you through the online system that you're going to need to use for your recruitment of your VISTA members. So there is no PowerPoint presentation because this call is really a demonstration of our systems rather than a formal presentation. The best way to reacquaint yourself with the information I'm presenting today is by reviewing the recording once it becomes available in the next couple of days. So we have several items that we want to get through today, including how to access eGrants, creating your VISTA assignment descriptions in eGrants, creating your opportunity listings, and selecting your VISTA candidates once you decide who will be serving with your project. But before we dive into that agenda, I'm just going to hand it over to Debbie to give you a brief welcome, and then we'll dive into the content of the afternoon or morning, wherever you may be. So Debbie.
Thanks, Sarah. Thanks, everyone, for being on this demonstration today. As a follow-up to the webinar that was held on Monday, I just want to let you know that I'll be sending out the PowerPoint presentation from Monday's webinar, and we'll be posting the recording next week. And then by this Friday, you will all receive a comprehensive recruitment guide that is actually going to cover a large chunk of what Sarah is going to be going over right now. So some of this information you will have available to you as an attachment in a PDF. So you'll have the option to review the recording of today's session, or you can refer to the document that I'll be sending you by the end of this week. And it'll be a large PDF file and basically cover just about everything you're possibly going to need to know about recruitment. And then the other item that will be coming out will be instructions on how to set up your travel profile inside of the eGrant system. For those of you that are going to be attending the supervisor orientation late in June, those are for new VISTA supervisors, you will need to set up a travel profile within your eGrants account. I'll be sending out instructions on how to do that. And as soon as you complete that form, I will be able to register you for the event. So the very first thing that everybody needs to do is set up an eGrants account. And I think Sarah's probably going to kick it off with that, so that's a pretty good segue.
Awesome. Thank you, Debbie. So yes, Debbie is correct. I'm going to start with talking about setting up your eGrants account. So first of all, let me just give you a little context. Now, I understand that some of you who are on this call have been VISTA supervisors in the past, and you're on this call for a refresher. And for those of you who are on the call for a refresher, hang in there for the first 10 minutes while we go over the eGrants system and how you create an account. We will get into the meat of using the system in just a few minutes. But for those of you who are brand new to VISTA, or brand new to VISTA with NeighborWorks America, please note that the eGrants system is going to be your primary tool for recruiting and selecting your VISTA candidates for service. As you've likely already learned, NeighborWorks America does not do the recruitment for all of the local sites across the country, and so you'll be doing the recruitment for your site alone, which is great because it gives you the latitude for selecting the person who is going to be perfect for your organization, both in skill and in cultural fit within your organization. But in order to do any recruitment functions, you have to first have an eGrants account. And so what you'll do is when you go to create an eGrants account, you're going to go to your favorite web browser, I will tell you that the eGrants system works best in Internet Explorer or Chrome. So those are the two platforms that we know are supported for our eGrants system. So you're going to go to your browser, click in egrants.cns.gov, and you'll be taken to the screen that you are all seeing right now, hopefully on your screen. And actually, I'm not sure that you're seeing it, so we're going to go ahead and present it again. Debbie, can you see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. So once you go to the eGrants system, for those of you who already have accounts with eGrants, there are a couple of things to know. If you've had an account through eGrants with your own personal organization, or if you've had an account with eGrants because you are a subsite of another VISTA project, those accounts are not going to work for you. If you have only worked with NeighborWorks America through accessing VISTA resources through NeighborWorks America, and you already have an eGrants account, then you are likely already set up for your eGrants process. But for anybody else, if you've never worked with NeighborWorks America and you already have an eGrants account, you're still going to have to create a new eGrants account. For everybody that's brand new, you're going to be creating an eGrants account from scratch. And to do that, once you get onto the egrants.cns.gov website, what you're going to do is you're going to go to the center of the screen and click on Don't Have an eGrants Account, Create an Account. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the steps, but I want to show you a few key features of once you click the button. So we're going to go back, and I'm going to click that button again so you can all see. You're going to click on Don't Have an eGrants Account, Create an Account. So you'll click on that, and then once you get to the next screen, what you'll want to make sure you're clicking on is Create a Grantee Account. Once you get to the screen immediately following, you'll want to go ahead and click on This is my first time. I want to create a new account with eGrants. And then on the final screen of this particular process, you're going to go ahead and enter all of your personal information. On following screens, it's really important that you note on following screens that you will need to be sure to have NeighborWorks America EIN number, because that EIN number is going to be your key to linking up to the NeighborWorks America organization within the system. Once you go through all the steps of creating an account, so you'll get to this screen that you see here, continue to click the next button on as you go through the system. And once you create your account, an email will be sent to Debbie Wise with NeighborWorks America. And once she gets an email stating that you've created the account, she's going to go ahead and log in and give you the appropriate permissions so that you can access the recruitment functions and that training profile that she had referenced earlier. I see that she's also going to be providing some information through chat, it looks like. She's provided the EIN number, so if you happen to be following along on a dual screen system and you're going to be trying to create the account right now, the EIN is right there for easy access in the chat for this presentation. I also want to take another moment and acknowledge somebody stated that they're having a difficult time seeing the screen. And what I would recommend is that there is an expand button in Skype on the top right hand side of the screen where you'll see my presentation. If you click that, it should blow up the presentation or my screen so that you can see it in a closer view. So anyway, once you create your eGrants account and Debbie gives you the permissions, I'm going to and she gives you the permissions to access the system, then you're going to be ready to log into the eGrants system. And the way you're going to log into the eGrants system is you're going to, again, go to egrants.cns.gov, and you're going to be brought to the screen that you see right here. You'll log into the system by using your username and password. A couple of recommendations. Our username and password requirements can be tricky. And so with that being said, jot down your password because there are a lot of specifications on what needs to be utilized in your password, and resetting passwords is not necessarily the easiest function in our system. So I'm going to go ahead and log into our system, and we're going to walk you through the functions in the system. Please hold while I log in. Okay, so once you log into the system, you're going to see your screen's going to look a little different than you see right here with me. What I'm going to do is we're going to go ahead and go directly to NeighborWorks, and once you log into the system, you are going to notice that on the right-hand side of the screen, if you have all the appropriate permissions that Debbie needs you to have, you're not going to see things in View My Grants and Applications. You are not going to see View My Account Statements. What you will see on the right-hand side of the screen is View My AmeriCorps Portal. And this is where you're going to do most of the functions within the eGrants system. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the portal home, and we'll start walking through the screens that you're going to use significantly through the eGrants recruitment process. Once you log into the system and you begin looking at the functions in the My AmeriCorps portal, what you're going to want to primarily focus on is a work basket on the left-hand side of the screen called the VISTA work basket. All the other work baskets are available, well, I shouldn't say all of them. Some of these work baskets are also available to you. The VISTA work basket has the most pertinent information. If you only solely want to focus on your recruitment activities, then what you'll want to do is focus on the recruitment work basket. But the recruitment work basket and the VISTA work basket are both going to be available, and they're both going to be helpful to you while you're managing the recruitment process. So we're going to go ahead and click on recruitment work basket for now. And this is probably the easiest work basket for you to work through as you're setting up your application process and selecting your VISTA candidates, because this has the three essential tabs, if you will, that will help you walk through and do the recruitment functions in the My AmeriCorps portal. So what we're going to do is we're going to focus first on the VISTA assignment descriptions, which are also known as VADs. So on the top right-hand side of the screen, there's the VAD tab, which stands for VISTA Assignment Descriptions. All of you with this project are going to have to create one, maybe more VADs, depending on how many members you're going to be having at your service site. You're going to click on the VAD link. Once you click on the VAD link, what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to create a brand new VISTA assignment description for your project. And the way you're going to do that is from this VAD link, you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, and on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, there is a Create New VAD link. And this is the link that you'll want to focus on primarily when you're first setting up your VISTA assignment descriptions in the system. So we're going to go ahead and create a new VAD, and I'm going to walk you through the VAD and also talk about what is appropriate and inappropriate within a VISTA assignment description. So we'll create a new VAD, and a couple of slick tricks about the VAD is, first of all, for all of you, the selection of a project period. This is not the slick trick, by the way. But the selection of a project period, what you'll want to do is select the one and only project period that is available to you. And then what you'll also want to do is create a VAD title. Now, Debbie, do you give them a naming convention that they're supposed to use, or can I talk about naming conventions that might be helpful?
Yeah, I suggest everybody use their organization's acronym at the beginning of the VAD title. to make it easier for you to find it later.
Okay, perfect. So Debbie is recommending you put in organization acronym and VAD title. I would say go one step even beyond that and put the program year. And I say that because for some of you who may be returning for sponsorship next year, and if your VAD title is similar, we want you to be able to differentiate between those VADs later on in the selection process. So in the VAD title, organization acronym, then your VAD title, and then the program year. Now, if you've been a sponsor in the past, what you're not a sponsor, a sub-site in the past, what you can do is you can copy an already existing VAD in the system. So you can go ahead and click on this copy link, and that's not going to work unless you first use the drop-down box to select from the existing VADs within the system. Now what you're seeing here, and this is why Debbie has a naming convention for you, is you're going to see all of these various VISTA assignment descriptions in the system at different phases in the process. So if you use your acronym in the beginning, then you'll see down here, here's an acronym with the actual title of the VISTA assignment behind it. So you'll want to make your naming convention something like that. But if you are an organization that's had members in the past, you might have a VAD in the system in the past that you can go ahead and copy and then utilize in making a new VAD. So all you would do for that function is you'd click on the VAD that you've used in the past and then click the copy button. And what you'll see is that the entire VAD populated with your organization title that you already created. Then you will also put in your site name, or it will already preload for you. And then you're going to put in your focus areas and then the remainder of the information that goes into a VISTA assignment description. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to skip over this part, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to create a VAD from scratch so you understand all of the functions that need to be that you need to utilize. Excuse me, so you're going to need to utilize as you create your own brand new VAD. So we're going to go ahead and click Create New VAD again. We're going to go ahead and select the appropriate project period. We're going to put organization initials, and then we're going to put VAD name. Oh, and I didn't grow up knowing how to spell, so bear with my spelling errors. And then we're going to put in the program year, which is 2017. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to put in your site name. So this is where you're going to put in your organization's full site name. So like the VAD title, you're putting in the acronym, but here's where if your NeighborWorks, let's see, NeighborWorks America Umpqua, I'm making this up, by the way, you're going to put that whole name in the site title. Within the primary and secondary focus areas, this is where you're going to identify what the intent or the focus area of your VISTA project is. All NeighborWorks America VISTA sites are focused specifically on economic opportunity. So you're going to want to click on economic opportunity as your primary focus area. You then can choose a secondary focus area, and the only one that would likely be appropriate for all of you would be capacity building. And so those are the two focus areas that you should have within the system. You are not required to put in the secondary focus area, so you'll want to at least make sure you're putting the primary focus area in the system, and you can leave the secondary focus area blank. Now the next portion of the VISTA assignment description is a portion that you're going to want to be mindful of relating to your application that you submitted to NeighborWorks America. So you've all submitted applications to NeighborWorks America and have said, this is specifically the goal of our project, this is what we're going to accomplish, this is what we want our member to complete within this year. I would say take that language that you put in the application that you sent to NeighborWorks America, copy and paste it right here into the goal of the project. Reframe that statement so that it would be understandable and user-friendly for a new person who is entering your organization, and put that directly into the goal of the project. So the goal of the project will be the goal that you stated you would be working on in your NeighborWorks NeighborWorks America application for the VISTA member. The next several sections of the VISTA assignment description, I want to walk you through the big picture, and then we'll drill down into the specifics. Within each goal, you're likely going to have several large components of the project that need to be completed. So I like to talk about financial literacy. It's an easy thing for me to talk about and reference. But let's say your goal for the year is to create a brand new financial literacy program in which a curriculum is developed, volunteers have been identified to deliver the program, and fundraising has been completed for the particular program. So what I've basically said or mentioned there are three specific objectives that are going to lead to the completion of the VISTA assignment. And so the one was fundraising, and that would be one objective. Now I'm oversimplifying what should be in this description. What should be in this description is exactly your plan for having your members do a fundraising campaign to support a new financial literacy program, etc. Then we know, based on what I just said, that there may be several objectives. So here at the bottom of the screen, you can create a brand new objective. So we're going to add a new objective. And so our second objective, you'll see, our first objective, fundraising, is right here. Our second objective, we're going to call it curriculum development. And then the last objective, based on the example I gave you, with three focuses to accomplish this project. One is fundraising, the second was curriculum development, and the third is volunteer development. So we're going to create a third objective, which you'll see objective 1 is right here. You scroll down, you'll see objective 2. And then you'll scroll further down and put in objective 3, which is volunteer management. Now, with each of these specific objectives, we know that one probably has to come first. I'm guessing we're going to say curriculum development is going to be the first component of getting this project off the ground. And in conjunction with that, you might need the member to do some fundraising activities. And so what we want in the performance period section that you see above the objective description, so here's the objective description, right above that you see the performance period. Within the performance period, you're going to enter the month and year in which you want the member to begin working on this project, or this objective rather, and the month and the year in which you anticipate this particular project being completed. So let's say it's a curriculum development. We know that the member needs to create the curriculum for this project before we're even going to work on recruiting volunteers to deliver this program. And you want the curriculum developed by January, so that in January the member can specifically focus on finishing fundraising activities and starting the volunteer recruitment. So what you're going to do is you're going to put August, because most of your members are starting in August of 2017, to January, you'll see, of 2018. And now you have your performance period that the member will have as a guide to complete that activity. Now, as I just mentioned, fundraising activities may be happening in concurrence with this curriculum development project. The member might focus on curriculum development in August and September, and then in October you're going to add the fundraising goals. So what you'll do here in the performance period for fundraising is say that this will begin in October of 2017. And then you hope to have this completed so that the project is fully funded by April of 2018. And then lastly, because the member had finished the curriculum by January of 2018, the member will start recruiting and working on volunteer functions in January of 2018. So we'll put January 2018 in this performance period to the end of their service term. And at that point, you will have had your entire program year covered with member activities. The reason this is so important is because we want to see when we review VISTA assignment descriptions that the member is being occupied and that there is enough work for them to do for an entire year period of time. So keep that in mind. Once you have the objectives and you have the performance periods identified, then you get into the more specifics of what it means to do fundraising activities and what it means to do curriculum development. So we're going to focus on the curriculum development. Again, this is just an easier stretch for me to do a quick presentation on. But with the curriculum development, we know that the member is going to have to do research on programs that already exist, because why recreate the wheel if they don't have to? To work on curriculum development, they will do research, provide a very specific, thorough description of the type of research that the member will be doing. So it could be researching through researching other financial literacy curriculums across the country and defining which will best meet our population's needs, etc. But with that being said, the member will do some research. They might need to identify some partnering organizations who can help with the development of the curriculum, maybe a local university. So what you're going to do, and what I clicked too soon, what you're going to do is below this box here for this one member activity, you're going to click on Add New Activity, and once you click Add New Activity, a second box will populate. And in this particular instance, we're going to say that within the curriculum development, the second action of the member is to develop relationships with community partners. So the reason I'm showing you this, all of these functions, and I'm only going to show you these functions for this one objective, but the bottom line is that for each objective, there should be several activities within that particular objective, so the member understands all of the steps that need to be completed for them to complete their assignment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what it looks like once we submit the VISTA assignment description, but I first want to go through a couple of components of what we're looking for in VISTA assignment descriptions. As I talked about on our call on Monday, there are some specifications and some requirements on what members can and can't do during their service. I didn't go into very specific details on the unallowable activities related to direct service, and I didn't because I knew I could cover some of that today. But what we're looking for in the VISTA assignment description is that all of the activities the member is working on are activities that are going to lead to the developed capacity of your organization. And also, we're looking to see that some of the activities are building off of each other that are going to lead to a sustainable environment. And as I mentioned on Monday, when I talk about sustainable, what I'm really talking about is the ability to persist. So we want to see that you're building the ability to persist into your VISTA assignment. But once you complete your VISTA assignment description, what you're going to do is here at the bottom of the screen, you're going to click Save and Submit. And we're going to go back, jot down the name of your VISTA assignment description before you hit Save and Submit. So we know this one is Organization Initials, VAD Name 2017. We go all the way to the bottom of the screen. We click Save and Submit. And then you're going to be taken to the next screen, which is a listing of all of the VISTA assignment descriptions in the system. And you will see that NeighborWorks America has 153 active VISTA assignment descriptions in the system. And this is going to be hugely overwhelming to you. And this is why I said jot down and remember your organization's VISTA assignment description title. Once the VISTA assignment description is submitted, you're going to see that it has a different status. So all of the VISTA assignment descriptions we see here have been approved. You can either sort this box by the VAD title to go and find your VAD, and they will be alphabetical, or you can go to find your VISTA assignment description by clicking on the status. So once a VAD is first approved, I would say sort by your status. Once you sort by your status, what happened was we just flipped this work basket upside down, and now we're seeing the submitted, the rejected, and the pending VISTA assignment descriptions. Pending VISTA assignment descriptions are VISTA assignment descriptions that you are still working on and haven't been submitted, which is why there's still an edit button behind your VISTA assignment description. For submitted VISTA assignment descriptions, you will see it simply states submitted. If it says that it's submitted, it means we have not reviewed it and approved that VISTA assignment description. If the VISTA assignment description has been rejected, you will see rejected here, and you can click on the edit button to go ahead and edit that VISTA assignment description. So we'll take a look at sample VAD 1. We're going to click on edit there. And what you're going to see is comments at the very top of the screen. The comments will likely say, review email sent to Debbie Wise and such date. And she will have collected that information and shared it with you, telling you very specifically why the VISTA assignment description was rejected. Once it's rejected, you can go ahead and enter all of the information related to or change the information for your VISTA assignment description and save and submit again if it's been rejected. So, and the system forces you to make changes to the VISTA assignment description before you can resubmit it to our office. We're going to click Save and Submit again. And what you'll now see, if we go and sort by status again, that your VISTA assignment description that we just resubmitted will say submitted. So you're going to be watching out for your status of your VISTA assignment description. The system does not automatically send emails regarding your VISTA assignment descriptions all the time, and so you'll want to be watching this on a regular basis until your status is in the status of approved. Because once it's approved, it's been reviewed by my office and has been said it's good to go, you can place a member serving on this VAD. So this is going to be important for you once you get to the selection process of selecting and identifying your VISTA candidates. But we're going to take a look, before we even go there, we're going to take a look at creating service opportunities. So the VISTA assignment description is the guide for your VISTA member during their service term. The service opportunities are the first snapshots for VISTA candidates who might be interested in service at your organization. And this is a very important feature because all applicants or candidates who want to serve with the VISTA project must have applied for and put their application in to the system through the My AmeriCorps portal. So even if you're recruiting a candidate locally, maybe you found a previous volunteer at your organization, they're still required to submit an application through our online system. And in order for them to do so, you have to have a service opportunity listed. One of the things that we know is that our Inspector General is taking a huge look at the alignment of VISTA sponsor applications to VISTA subsite applications to VISTA assignment descriptions to service opportunity listings. Excuse me. And so we're going to be looking for that alignment to see that your service opportunity and your VAD actually relate to each other and also relate to the overall application that you submitted to NeighborWorks America. But to create a service opportunity for your applicants to apply and for your candidates across the country to apply, you're going to again find the Service Opportunity tab in your recruitment work basket. So we'll click on the Service Opportunity tab, and you're going to find again hundreds of opportunity. It looks like Debbie's cleaned up this box a lot. So you're going to find probably less than 100, but pretty close to 100 opportunity listings already in the system. To create a brand new opportunity listing, which is what you should all do, is you're going to click on this Create Opportunity Listing tab here at the top. And I'm going to talk about some very important notes once we get through this creating the opportunity listing that I really want you to jot down and remember. Maybe Debbie can even include additional details about some of these. I would call them pain points in our system a little later after the call. But what we're going to do is create a new opportunity listing, and I'm going to explain to you the importance of the various fields within the opportunity listing. So first of all, when you are creating an opportunity listing, the first thing you want to do is make sure at the top of the screen that the radio button Yes is checked, saying you want the listing to be available and viewable right now. What you're all then going to do is type in your project name. Debbie, do you use a naming convention for project name or no?
No, we don't have a naming convention. I would say just everyone use whatever, makes the most sense for your project.
Okay. So the project name is really important because this is where a VISTA applicant is going to understand just a quick understanding of what the project is. So if we're talking about NeighborWorks America Umpqua, they might make their project name NWU, and then they might say financial literacy education. So that might be their project name. The project type that's going to be selected is AmeriCorps VISTA. This is for all of you who are placing VISTA members. So AmeriCorps VISTA is your project type. Your program code is going to be the only number that's available to you. So you'll go ahead and select that. Then you're going to put the start and end date for your VISTA member service term. Now I understand that all of the VISTA members in this project are going to begin their service on August 28th. So you're going to go ahead and put in the start date August 28th, 2017. And the end date of this assignment is going to be exactly 1 year later. So it'll be August 27th, 2016. We're not going backwards in time, 2018. Then what you'll want to do, none of you should select part-time for term of service. So you'll all want to, and I'm speaking primarily to full-time projects right now, I believe. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you type in full-time here for the term of service. Then you're going to put in your organization's contact information. And this information is important because a couple of reasons. We want to have the VISTA candidate an applicant understand who they are applying to and who they can talk to get assistance on the application process. So you'll want to be sure that your contact information is appropriate and available here. And a couple of things to save yourself some time. You'll want to make sure that you enter into the system knowing what your zip code is. And the 4 extension zip code is, because the system will kick this back to you and ask you to validate your address if your zip code is missing. And I'll show you what that looks like in a moment. Then you're going to identify which state your members will be serving in. So we'll just say Georgia. If you're in a large metropolitan area, you may be able to select that metropolitan area here in this box below. But most places across the country do not have metropolitan area listed. So once you complete the screen, which is the easiest screen in the process, you're going to click next, and you'll see that my zip code was incorrect. So I got this error message across the top of the screen that says my street name or zip code appears to be invalid. And so I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to see that they've suggested a new address for me, and I'm going to take that system recommended address and use that as my new address. So once you do that, you can click next, and on the next screen we're getting to the meat of what you're going to be putting into your opportunity listing. First of all, with the opportunity listing, I'm going to show you a couple of screens here in a minute, but in the opportunity listing, this first section of the opportunity listing is asking for a brief 2-line description of the program. And this is where you're going to want to put in a description that's very interesting and attractive to any individual who looks at your opportunity listing. When I show you what the screens look like for an applicant, you'll understand why it's so important that your 2-line description is attractive and exciting. So this is going to be an attractive, exciting statement about your overall project. And then under the program description, this is where you're going to provide an overall program description of what your organization does and what the VISTA project is intended to do. So like the overall program, the goal of the project, and more details about how there's an intersection between your organization and the VISTA project. So that's what you're going to want to focus on in the program description. You're then going to move down to, are you accepting applications now? You're going to go ahead and click yes. You'll click yes, you're accepting applications now. You're going to say you're going to accept applications from the date you submit this. So we'll say the 18th. And then you're going to want to say that you're accepting applications all the way through the application deadline that NeighborWorks America has set for you for submitting paperwork to them for your VISTA candidate. So it's likely that your paperwork is going to be due sometime in July. So we're going to go ahead and put July 28th, 2017. The reason you want a long deadline here is because you want to make sure that your applicants have the ability to apply for their position. You want to have the ability to select your applicant for the position and that they have the opportunity to accept the position. So you want to make sure all of those steps can be completed within this application deadline. Now, if you find an applicant and you select that person for service, you can close your listing to quit getting applications in the system. So you'll want to go ahead and make sure that you're also closing your opportunity listing if you do eventually fill that position. You can then require your own application if you want, and that's where you'll put in information related to that here. And then you're going to put in the benefits that your program offers. And this is where you're going to identify. So with VISTA, the things that you're going to want to identify are child care assistance if eligible, choice of education award or end of service stipend. If you're going to offer housing, you are welcome to select housing. But if you're not offering housing, don't select it. You can select health coverage, living allowance, relocation allowance. Those are the items that you'll want to select. So again, to go over those again, it includes child care assistance, choice of education award or end of service stipend, health coverage, living allowance, and relocation allowance. Make sure all of those are selected. Then further down on the screen, you will see the ability to click the Next button. The selecting terms and conditions of member service that apply to your program is only viewable to the state office. So this isn't true to the screen you'll see. This is something that only I will see. But once you complete all of the fields that I've referenced above, so your 2-line attractive statement, your project description, and your benefits, you're going to go ahead and click Next on the bottom of the screen. You'll be taken to the final page of the opportunity listing. The minimum age to serve as VISTA is 18. That's pre-populated for you. You get to determine the desired educational level for your position. Our only requirement with VISTA is that the person has, at minimum, a high school diploma or GED. So you can go ahead and choose whatever education level makes sense to you. And then what you'll do is you're going to identify all of the skills that you would like a VISTA candidate to have here in this box. Now, what I'm going to say and what I'm learning from a lot of VISTA sponsors over this past year is that the more skills that you say you need for the position, the less applicants people are stating that they get. Now, this is just anecdotal information. I have no truth if there's any validity to that. I say shoot for the moon, so tell people that you want all of these, tell them all of the skills that you feel that they're going to need to be successful. And so you can do that by going through this pick list here. And we'll say that because members are not doing direct service, we don't want to see any direct service selections here. So counseling is not something we would want to see in your list. But perhaps you want somebody who's good at communication, and you want somebody who has some skills related to fundraising and grant writing. So you're going to go ahead and click the control button, choose a few of these items in the pick list, and now they are saved. You'll then want to go to the language requirements, and I would say be careful with the language requirements. Similarly, only select a language requirement if it's truly a requirement. Some people see that there's a language requirement and maybe it's really just a suggestion and they won't apply to your position. You want to make sure that your position is available and a large population will be interested in it, and you want to only really focus on the things that are required for somebody to be successful rather than what is suggested for success. So you'll go ahead and enter your language requirements. Then the last major thing you're going to do is you're going to enter what your AmeriCorps members do. And this is where you're going to be providing a explanation of the activities in the VAD. So we want to see that the activities in the VAD are reflected in this description of what your members will do. So in this particular case, we were talking about financial literacy. So we would say that the member is going to be developing a financial literacy program, and they're going to do this by curriculum development and fundraising and volunteer recruitment. Now, it is not sufficient to make the statement that simple. What you'll want to do is talk into more detail. So developing a curriculum and go into the details of the activities you listed in the VAD so that the member or the applicant has a truly great idea of what is expected for them during their service term. I can tell you when we review these VISTA opportunity listings, we're looking at them to make sure that the opportunity listings are appropriate and that they do not have direct service. We're looking for capacity building activities that align with the VISTA assignment description. Once your activities are in the system, you scroll down a little bit. You're going to choose your service areas in which the members are going to be serving. For all of you, it's likely that the members will be focused on neighborhood revitalization, but they might also be working on things like technology, or they may be working on homelessness within your local community. Select all of those service areas and be generous there, because what you put there is going to drive how people find positions in their preferred area for application. So then put in your name, and what you'll do here, put in your phone number and email address. That gives the applicant additional information to get in touch with you. Then at the bottom of the screen, click Save. Once you click the Save button, this opportunity listing is automatically submitted to my office for review. So we're going to go ahead and click Save. And you'll see what the opportunity listing looks like to a VISTA applicant when you hit the save button. So now we see what the member duties are, we'll see what the skills you requested are, etc. So you'll see all of those details directly here on this screen. The way you can tell if your opportunity listing has been approved or not is you're going to go back to your recruitment work basket. So once you submit this, it gets sent to our office for approval. You'll click on your recruitment work basket, and then we're going to go back to service opportunities. We're going to click on that link here. And again, we're going to be looking at the status for these opportunity listings. This unfortunately is not sortable in the same way that the other box is, but you can see on the right hand side of the screen the status. You'll see any opportunity listing that is pending, which means it's still being worked on. You'll see the approved opportunity listings and the denied opportunity listings. And I don't see the one we just created, which is interesting. Oh yeah, here it is. No, that's not the one that we just created. Anyway, the bottom line is you're going to be looking for pending or approved or denied here on the right hand side of the screen. Now if your opportunity listing is denied, you can go here on the right hand side of the screen and click edit. You can also click view, or you can hide your opportunity listing if you so choose. I would say stay away from the hide function and only let staff at NeighborWorks America work with the hide button, because it can be a pretty touchy button and could make some of the opportunity listings for your colleagues go away. So with that being said, there are a couple of things that I want you to know about your opportunity listing. Once it has been approved, so once it is in the approved status, it is live and public for people to see. And I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a minute. Anytime you, as a subsite, click on the view button, the minute you click on the view button or the edit button, your opportunity listing is taken down from our live website and resent to our office for approval again. So I'm going to ask everybody to never hit the view and edit button once the status is approved, unless you have to make changes to your opportunity listing. Otherwise, your listing comes down. People will not know that they should be applying for the position. And then it could be waiting for 24 hours before we even see that it needs to be reapproved. So I just want to be clear about that. That is a pain point, I would say, in our system that I feel it's my responsibility to let you know about. So when people are applying for the VISTA projects, they're going to do this online. And I want you to see what it looks like when applicants are applying for VISTA projects across the country. When they're applying for VISTA projects, they're going to go to AmeriCorps.gov. And that's the website you're seeing here on the screen right now. And what they're going to do is they're going to scroll through this page, and they're going to and I should say our website has literally just changed recently, but they're going to scroll through our website and they're going to click on what is AmeriCorps, if that doesn't go away. Click on what is AmeriCorps, find out now. And they're going to go to a link that's going to show them more about what AmeriCorps is in general. And I should mention our internet in our office is so slow that hopefully it doesn't take us too long to get there. And if it does, I will reload and start over again. Or we might come back to this at the end. Let's try again. We'll try one more time. Go to AmeriCorps.gov. All right, we're going to come back to this. I just want to show you why some of the functions that you're going to choose in the creating of an opportunity listing are so important. So we'll take a look at this in a few minutes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move through selecting your VISTA candidate and how you go about selecting your VISTA candidate in the system. Oh wait, here I think our page is going to load for us now. So your VISTA applicants, actually from this first page, once they're on the AmeriCorps.gov website, they can scroll down even further, and there is a place where they can click Ready to Apply. Once they click Ready to Apply, on the next screen, the candidate will be walked through, or the applicant will be walked through the application process. Now, what applicants see when they're looking for opportunity listings is they're going to click on the Search Opportunity Listing link. And we're going to take, I'm going to take Sacramento, California, or California just in general as the state I'm going to look at for searching for opportunity listings. We're going to say somebody is interested in VISTA. They're going to come to this page. They're likely going to skip this top portion of the search and go directly down to the advanced search option, simply because people will already know, yes, I want to be a VISTA member, or I want to be an NCCC member. So they're going to go down to selecting that they're interested in becoming an AmeriCorps VISTA member, and then they're going to say, I want to serve in California. So I'm going to go and click on California. Then they're going to say, yeah, I'm interested in community and economic development. I'm interested in community outreach, and they're going to select all of the areas that they're interested in that might be of interest to them for their service term. They might say, oh, I'm familiar with counseling, I know a little bit about communications, etc. So they're going to click all of these buttons here based on what they're interested in. Once they do that, they're going to go to the bottom of the screen and they're going to click Search. And what they're going to see are results that match up with their advanced search. And what you will see here on the top right-hand side of the screen is that from that basic search we did, the applicant has 186 results to dig through to determine what they might want to apply for to become an AmeriCorps VISTA member. And each page has 10 opportunities, and so they're going to have to click through all of these pages to review all of the listings that are of interest to them. Now, if you recall back to the opportunity listing when I was explaining how the one two-line description needs to be attractive and interesting to the VISTA candidate, well, it needs to be interesting and attractive to the VISTA candidate because this is that two-line description. So you'll see New Door Ventures help disconnect youth get ready for work and life. Some might say that's attractive, some may not. But the bottom line is, if this line does not grab an applicant, they're less likely to click on the name of your organization to apply for the position. So you want to make sure that these two-line descriptions are fairly interesting. So once the applicant looks through all of the positions that they're interested in, they're going to click on the name of the organization, and once they click on the name of the organization, you're going to see what they see is first the program description. So this is where you're talking about your agency and the VISTA project and the intersection between the two. And then they're going to see the member duties. So this is where you're talking about you're going to be creating a financial literacy program that is intended to do this within the community. Here are the activities we expect throughout your year. And they will see the remainder of the information related to your opportunity listing. So this information is very important for your VISTA applicants to understand what their goals are going to be and what they're going to be achieving during their service. They're going to go ahead and click the Apply Now button. Once they do that, what's going to happen is in the eGrants system, you are going to then be able to go to the recruitment workbasket again here on the left-hand side of the screen. Oops. So you're going to go to the recruitment workbasket. And what you're going to see, the first tab, so we went through your VISTA assignment descriptions, we looked at your service opportunities. Now we're looking at pending applications. And the pending applications are all of the applications that have been submitted to the VISTA program at NeighborWorks America. So for all of you, I see we have 42 participants in the call. That's 42 participants for over 60 positions across the country. And so there will likely be hundreds of applicants in this system. Currently, there are 722 applicants in this system. So what you're going to need to do is understand and remember what your listing name is. So you're going to sort by your listing name. And once you sort by your listing name and thumb through these tabs, you're going to find your organization. So we're going to stick with Neighborhood Transformation VISTA. This is the listing name. And you're going to look at a particular candidate's application to determine whether they're the right VISTA for you. So we're going to take Jessica. We're going to look at Jessica's application. You can see your basic information on screen 1. You can see your motivational statement on screen 2. I can tell you that this would not be what I would consider a good motivational statement. It should be more in-depth than that. You'll see skills and experience, education. So this is the education history of your candidate, the community service that they've done in the past. You will see the criminal history of the candidate, and we talked through the criminal history process the other day. You will see demographic information, which you can basically skip over. You'll see references. The references are the individuals who have been provided an email to fill out a reference form online. You'll see that for this particular applicant, the references have not been completed online. And so here on the right-hand side of the screen, it says that these references have not been completed. To select your VISTA candidate, in this column, under the completed column, both of these have to say yes for you to select somebody from service. If these two sections do not say yes, I would say stop here and do not even go to the next step until both of these references are completed. Now, it might be that the reference is not able to do their reference online, at which point you can go ahead and override the reference by clicking on the reference's name here. You click on the reference's name. What you can do is you can say, so you see we're in the override reference, you can say that I'm going to get or I have talked to this reference, or I'm using a different reference. So if it's a different reference, you'll click Other. If you talk to this reference, you'll say that you talked to them on the phone. Then you're going to provide a very in-depth explanation of the conversation you had in this section of the reference, and you'll click Save. Once you do that, the reference override will be completed. I'm not doing it now, and you will see right here on the right-hand side of the screen, it will say yes. Once all of that is completed, and this is the person you want for service, you're going to go to the Sponsor Recommendation and Rejection tab. You'll click on that, and you'll be taken to a page in which you're going to be filling out a lot of information. You're going to read through this page. You're going to tell us a little bit about the applicant's involvement in community service. You're going to tell us what skills that the applicant has that makes them the right person for this position. And we know that you'll know what those skills are because we know that you'll have gone through an interview process. And then you're going to identify the applicant's weaknesses. One of the things I say to all of the sponsors here in Ohio is there's no person who doesn't have a weakness. And so we are really looking to see if you've actually had conversations with the candidates about what some of their challenges might be during their service term. You'll then go ahead and put in the type of supervision you think that the applicant would need. It's a good question for the interview process, asking the candidate what type of supervision they need. The answer to is the applicant available for service on a full-time basis must be yes. If it's not, you should not be even choosing this person for service. You're then going to describe the project and the role that you plan to assign the individual. Then you're going to be choosing your VISTA assignment description. And so as Debbie had mentioned before, what she asks you to use for the naming convention for your VISTA assignment description are the acronym for your agency and then the name of the VISTA assignment description, and then I added on, it's also helpful if you put the program year. So that will make it easy for you to scroll through this long list of VISTA assignment descriptions. Choose the VISTA assignment description that is for your organization. Do not be choosing some other organization's VISTA assignment descriptions. Only choose your own. And then you're going to choose your site, your service site. They should all be listed here in this drop-down box. All of your sites will be listed here. You'll choose your site. And then you're going to, at the bottom of the screen, let us know if you recommend this person for service. If you say that you do not recommend this person for service, we will not accept that person for service. So the person must either have an on the whole I would recommend the applicant or I recommend the applicant. Anything below that and we're going to not approve that application. But once you complete that, you're going to click select, and at that point, once you click select, your applicant will go to a new status within the My AmeriCorps portal. And we have the advantage of showing you those statuses right now. So once you select a candidate, the application it actually goes to your candidate and they have to accept the position within the My AmeriCorps portal. So you'll want to make sure that you're reaching out to your candidate to let them know that they need to accept their position. For you to get a good understanding of what status your candidate is in, you're going to go to your recruitment workbasket. And you'll be able to check the statuses of all of your applicants here on the right-hand side of the screen. So you can see when an application has been submitted. The under review, I would not rely on that status. But you can sort by status, and you'll see all of the applicants who have applications under review. And there are a lot of them, apparently. We're looking for, right now, more applications that have been submitted. What we're going to look for here are applications that are in the pending state office approval. Your applicant must be in the pending state office approval stage by your paperwork deadline for your applicant's paperwork to NeighborWorks America. If your applicant is not in the pending state office approval status, they are not considered having been selected by your organization. So you'll want to make sure that you get through all of the steps that I just showed you so that you can see that the status is pending state office approval. Some of the other statuses that you're going to see, we're going to try and find some of those. You're going to see that there are people who are in the selected status. These individuals you have selected, meaning you are the ones who have said, I want this person to serve. These individuals, when it says that they've been selected, they have not yet gone in to accept their position. And so that means that they still have to take a step before the application hits our office. So you'll want to make sure that you're following up with your candidates if they're in the selected status to make sure that they are fully fully accept the position so that they can be considered to attend the pre-service orientation, or not the pre-service orientation blend that all of them will attend. So with that being said, I basically walked you through the entire recruitment process. I know that your paperwork is going to be due to Debbie Wise by July 17th, Debbie Wise at NeighborWorks America by July 17th, and that means all of these steps need to be completed as soon as possible. The VISTA assignment description, specifically in the service opportunity section as well. So what I want to do is I'm going to first ask Debbie to alert me to any questions that came up in chat that might need a response. And then I'll open up the lines for questions and answers.
Okay, Sarah, we did get a question about age requirements and if a candidate is going to be turning 18 in October, would they still be eligible?
They would not be eligible. They have to be 18 by the first date of their service term.
Okay.
And actually, I shouldn't even say the first date. Technically, 2 weeks before their service term, they need to be 18.
Okay, and then we just got another question. Do you have your chat open, Sarah?
I do. Um, Is the only method we are supposed to be recruiting for this, is this the only method? The answer, that's a fantastic question, Danielle. Thank you for asking. And no, the answer is no. You should be recruiting through whatever avenues you feel are best for your position. Some people swear by local recruitment, and that's perfectly fine if you swear by local recruitment. The one thing I have to say is all applicants, even if they're recruited locally, have to come through this system. So you're not solely reliant on this system, but I can tell you that some organizations get a lot of applications through this system, and that's where they find their VISTAs. But do what's best for your organization.
Okay, somebody else mentioned that they don't have access to the VISTA Workbasket, and that is correct. Actually, none of the NeighborWorks websites have access to that link. You'll be using the recruitment workbasket link that Sarah showed you throughout this demonstration. That's the only tab or link that you need access to complete this process.
Thank you for making that clarification, Debbie. All right, so I'm going to open up the lines and see if there are any other questions that people want to ask over the phone. Give me one moment, please.
Presentation mode is now disabled.
All right, now the phone is open, so you can ask your questions if any of you have additional questions that you would like to ask over the phone.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi. If we were requested 2 vistas but were awarded 1, do we have to pick, or can we, from our application positions, or can we combine some of the responsibilities together?
James, this is Debbie. You can choose whichever position you'd like to recruit for, and you can certainly combine them. I would just caution you to not make it so overwhelming that your VISTA assignment activities cannot be completed within a year. So just be sure you're not, making a giant position, that it's still appropriate for the time frame.
Understood. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, this is Sonia from West Elmwood. My question, I wanted to rephrase it because I'm actually asking about the summer VISTA. If he could be 17 years old but with a high school diploma, not the full-time position.
The answer is still no.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. It would be so nice if our summer associates could be younger than 18, and there's been a lot of push to try and make that happen. Nobody's been successful yet, though. So no. Unfortunately, no, they can't.
Okay. The only reason why we were asking is because he was our intern that we were trying to help further. But thank you very much for your input.
No problem. Other questions? Okay, well, if there are no other questions, I've covered all of the materials that I had intended for today. So I'm excited to see what your applicants will bring to the VISTA program and see where you land with your VISTA positions. But I will hand it over to Debbie to conclude the call.
All right, thanks, Sarah. I would just like to reinforce that I will be sending out a PDF, which is going to be the recruitment guide. It will include step-by-step instructions along with screenshots and cover pretty much everything that Sarah went over with us this afternoon. I know some people learn differently, and some people really pick up easier through a webcast versus paper instructions. So you're going to have all that at your disposal. And then, of course, you'll have me and you'll have our VISTA leader, Sindra. So as you're going along the process, if you have any questions, you could always call or email, and we'll help you along with that process. The other thing I want to remind everybody to do is, after you have submitted your VISTA assignment description and or your service opportunity listing, send me an email, give me a heads up, because what I will do is send Sarah an email and let her know to go into the system so her office can review what you have submitted and then take the next steps, whether it's approving it or in some cases she may need to reject it, and then she will provide feedback on what you need to do to make changes so it can be approved. So, in keeping, time is a factor here. So definitely let me know after you've submitted something, and then I will get the word out to Sarah so her office can look at the submissions and respond in a timely manner. Okay, well, I don't see any other questions coming through via chat. And if nobody else has any other questions, I'd just like to thank you, Sarah, for spending time with us and going over this very important feature. Everybody needs to use eGrants. You can't get out of it. This is how we track applicants and people get accepted into the program. So it's very important that you understand how the system works. And be on the lookout for another email from me with the recruitment guide. And I will also be sending out instructions on how to set up your travel profile for those of you that will be attending the supervisor orientation in June. I'll also have a few more details about that orientation, so I'll be sharing that as well. And as always, email or call with any questions. All right, thank you, Sarah. Is there anything else you wanted to, any words of encouragement?
No, all I have to say is good luck, everybody. This work may feel overwhelming right now, but once you see the benefits of your VISTA, I assure you, you will be glad that you did the work. So thanks, everybody, for your patience and for getting through this most difficult portion of sponsoring a VISTA member. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude the call, and I look forward to seeing your VISTA assignment descriptions and opportunity listings in the near future. Thanks, everybody.